Hi, I'm Jim Jordan with the Oregon Energy Healing Center, and today we're going to have a conversation with one of our members, Julie Chertow. So Julie and I met probably, God, 15 years ago at least
Yes.
in Ashland. She's a client of mine, and she came to us recently, probably a month and a half ago, to have sessions. And I want to give her a chance to give you her background about what health challenges she was facing and then what she has experienced in the last month and a half. So Julie, thank you. I appreciate you coming on for this conversation. And it's yours. Just tell us what brought you to the Oregon Energy Healing Center.
First of all, my pleasure to do this because I love helping people. And, I've had such a change that I'm so excited to share that because I would have never thought in a million years. That's how I want to start sharing that part.
Yeah.
So just really briefly, last year, in 1 year, I had 8 blood sepsis episodes where I was like taken by ambulance to the hospital in for 3 weeks at a time on antibiotics. Unfortunately, one of the blood sepsis episodes ended up in my bone, which is very dangerous and serious. And I was diagnosed with osteomyelitis, which I had never heard of, but it is a serious bone infection and some serious pain. I've been dealing with it for a year and a half. And it has just progressively got worse and worse and worse. So much so I woke up one day 6 months ago, I couldn't even walk. And I'm like, what happened? Like, I didn't injure myself. I'm like, what the heck happened that I can't even walk? And the journey began. So I was back in the hospital 2 or 3 times for it with this on 6 weeks of antibiotics. I mean, it's just been a crazy journey. I've had to absolutely use a walker, and they gave me this Cadillac of Cadillac back braces that really was helpful to support my lower back. The pain was a 20 in pain, like on a scale from 1 to 10. I am not exaggerating. I would just cry and cry and cry in horrible pain. And then it would like go down into the nerves, like the sciatic nerve down my legs and in my buttocks, and just horrible. Well, I finally, in one of the hospital visits, they gave me a lot of heavy pain meds because I had to surrender. I don't like taking those at all, but I was on Dilaudid every 4 hours actually in the hospital. When I went home, I was doing it, taking 2 to 3 Dilaudid a day. That's a heavy duty pain med.
Right.
And I was on Flexerol, which is a muscle spasm for muscle spasms. So I was on both. And I was doing between, I'd say 2 to 4 times a day. And I would try not to take it, but I would just cry. And so I'd have to take it.
And even on the medication, you're still in pain then?
Well, it would help
It would help.
subside the pain, but then it would wear off. And there it
Yeah.
was again, and I'm like, I cannot live on these pain meds. I just
Right.
refuse. I'm not going to do this.
Right.
Anyways, my friend was like, Christian was telling me about the EES. I got an email from you before, like letting us in Ashland know it was coming. So I had known about it from back then. But like, you know what? I've been on a major health and healing journey for a long time now. And I have tried so many frequency machines, so many machines.
Right.
And it never did anything. And so I was like, Christian, I'm so glad you enjoy it, but I'm not going to put my money into another machine because they just never worked. And I've done too many and I'm not going there. Well, I was constantly hearing about healings and changes that it was making for people, mainly like consistently I would hear from everybody, I have the deepest sense of well-being
Right.
and joy. And I thought, I could use a dose of that, because it really takes a toll when you are in
Yeah.
chronic pain all the time and you go down. Like, I'm not a very depressed person ever, but I moved into that. I didn't like that part either.
Now, could I
So,
interject something? I know I've known Julie for a long time, and she's struggled with her health back when we first met. You had the intestinal surgery that took up
yes.
intestines. So
Oh,
she's
yeah.
she's a warrior for health. And when you came in, I was like, wow, this is the worst I've ever seen you.
Oh, I know.
And I was
And
like,
my blood work looked like lines. There were no circles, you
yeah.
know?
So
Do you remember
this
that?
was a, yeah, this I was worried, to be honest. But you said you heard from people locally some good stories. Okay.
Oh, yeah,
Not just
all the
online.
time,
Yeah,
locally and elsewhere.
yeah,
And
yeah,
it was like, and then I knew of Jason Shirka, who was like delivering them across America,
yeah.
which to me is so exciting, because, like, that could not happen a year ago. It would be stopped, it would be suppressed, it would be something. And that he has like delivered them to what, 336 or whatever healing centers
Yeah.
across America. There's no stopping it now, you know?
So
So
tell
that's
us what happened your first session. When was that about, more or less?
well, I bought the package for, I split it with my friends, so we each had 8 2-hour sessions.
Okay.
And the first session, so I've had 6, so 6 weeks ago.
Yeah.
The first session, I threw up all night, but I kind of, that didn't freak me out, because I know how many drugs I've been on, and I knew I was going to detox, which I'm
Yeah.
okay with, you know?
Good.
So I puked all night, but I was not going to give up, because I was like listening to Tony Robbins testimonials. I was listening, just
Yeah.
hearing so many cool testimonials. And I'm like, all right, just going to stay open. Remember, like, even if it just brings you more joy, I'll take it. I'll take 1% change. So
Right.
anyways, after the second session, which was the following week, I was like so much less pain. I'm like, no, this could not be. When would I take that last pain med? Like,
Mm,
maybe it's because it's in my system. Like,
mm.
I don't know. I'm just gonna watch it.
Yeah.
And that night, I didn't take a pain med again.
Wow.
And the next day, I didn't take a pain. I'm like, I want off of these, so I will only take it if I really, really need it. I have them, they're right there. The first thing that happened was I walked out after the second session without using my walker,
Right.
because I had to use a walker and the back brace. I could not carry anything. So my friend Trisha has been carrying all my bags, my purse, getting me in the car with the walker and everything. And after the third session, I will say honestly that I was 85 to 90% out of pain.
Wow.
And I have not taken one pain med, not one muscle relaxant. This is day 20, because I would keep track in a notebook
Wow.
every time I took one, the date, which drug, the time, and I have my notebook. Like, that's my living proof. And I was very responsible and always, always never missed and wrote it down, because they make you a little crazy, these pain meds. So I needed to keep track, so I
Yeah.
didn't overdo it. So when I look back at my notebook, I kept going page. Like, I am not. And then I got my calendar out and I'm looking. I'm
Yeah.
like, holy cow, it's been a week. I haven't taken anything. Then it was 10 days. Then it was 20. I'm on day 20, 21 right now, and not one pain med.
Wow.
I still have some,
Yeah.
like, but it's more compression, because the osteomyelitis 8. Now listen to this. It deteriorated 2 of my lower back discs. You cannot have bone against bone and not be in pain. And I'm like, I do. I don't have pain.
And you're not the only person. I've had several other stories of people that it's bone on bone, there's no pain. And so there's something happening, some regeneration happening. I want to ask you, when you go in for a session, what do you experience? Like, what is your What happens to you?
Well, the first thing that I am a meditator, so I'm able to drop in. So I feel like I just drop and then drop and drop. And like I am so deep
Yeah.
in another universe, like, and it's wonderful. It's just delicious, the feeling. But like all of a sudden you'll say, okay, and the birds or whatever he
Yeah.
played it let us know that it's the 2 hour. And I'm like, 2 hours has passed? No way. And like I put a mask on and a blanket and and I just feel like I've had just the deepest meditation
Oh,
because
I
if
I
you meditate,
remember one time you were so out at the end of the
oh
session, I couldn't even wake you up.
no,
It was you were so deep into some other place, but it was such a deep rest you were in that I was
oh,
shaking you to wake you up, and you weren't
nobody
waking
was
up.
home. But that happened every single time.
Oh,
So
that
if you weren't there, yeah, with the other
the other
people
people.
that were, yeah. And Trisha,
Yeah,
she's usually the one I have to get up. She would like shake me. I didn't hear anybody, like nothing. I was
yeah.
so released and I felt like surrendered. And when you're in chronic pain, you're like in a state of defense and protection, and it's so hard to just relax and let go. But that's a very big deal to feel so relaxed because it just doesn't happen. If anybody hearing this who's experienced chronic pain, that doesn't happen so easily to surrender and feel relaxed. It just doesn't. So to let go like that, and that's when healing can happen,
That's
from
exactly
that
right.
state. And I'm like, okay, I'm still baffled to tell you the truth, but I'm so happy and I'm so grateful. And
Hmm,
I'm I feel so good about myself that I listened
hmm.
even through resistance, because I definitely had resistance. No more machines. That was my thing. No more frequency, this, that, nothing, you know? And, uh, you know, I'm just pretty blown away and just deeply grateful to you guys for bringing it here, having it available, and for anybody, not just pain, but for anything going on. I don't care what it is, emotional, spiritual,
Hmm.
physical, mental, whatever.
Yeah.
You got to try this and don't give up after the first session. Like, if you don't feel a change, just keep going because everybody's different and people have different, situations that maybe takes somebody 5 sessions, maybe it takes another person one, but just don't give up if you don't feel this ginormous change after the first time. Just
Thank you
keep,
for that, Julie. Yeah,
yeah,
exactly. People really need to know they should give it at least 10 to 20 hours in the system to
yeah,
evaluate. And I'm glad you did that because some people come one time and that they might not get the change they want, but it's not a miracle. It is a miracle in a way. I mean, the body's a miracle, but it takes time for your cells to start to regenerate. It takes time for your nervous system to relax enough to get in the state where it can heal and recover. So
right.
I'm really grateful that you followed your intuition, you've stuck with it. And when you told me your story, like after one of our sessions recently, I said, wow, I knew you were improving. I didn't know quite the degree. And that's why I said we've got to talk, we've got to document this. And I'm so grateful.
Yeah,
This is because I want this to help other people that are in pain or they have, like you said, emotional issues, depression, anxiety, nervous system disorders. I have a guy with Parkinson's, a guy in a men's group of mine that's going to a center in Boulder, Colorado, whose shaking is starting to go slow down a lot. He's going
fantastic.
and this is just once a week. This is
Yeah,
not that much. I mean, some people, I recommend the people have started this with 2 or 3 times a week for some people, just once a week, even for many people, and they're starting to see
that's what
major
I'm doing.
changes. Yeah, in chronic conditions. So,
Yeah.
yeah, thank you.
I just got gifted. This is my miracle.
Yeah,
I got gifted an overnight session from a friend of mine in upstate New York who just has always been invested in me getting better because she knows
yeah.
the me before I got sick.
Oh,
And like, we got to get you better, girlfriend. That's what she said. Because I'm gifting you an overnight, which is what, 10 hours? So I
11
have that
hours, 11 hours. Yeah.
11. Ooh,
Yeah,
awesome.
it's amazing. The overnights are just, you're
Yeah,
gonna love
that's
that.
what I hear. That's when it really, so who knows what else can happen? I'll also have to see, but if I have any more, I'm happy to keep doing testimonials as long as I
Okay.
have them.
Thank you, Julie. So for now, let's and there's other people, we're gonna bring them on and have little interviews with them, but this is the first one we're doing, and I'm really grateful to you for doing such a good job and explaining your history and how this has helped you.
Yeah,
And I look forward to seeing you tonight. I'll be there tonight to host you, and
session tonight. I can't wait. I'm counting the hours, looking at the clock, going
yeah,
closer. I just now I'm like, that's my new drug.
yeah, it's
I feel like, oh, I want my session, because I just feel so good.
yeah,
And oh, you sleep fantastic after a session. Oh, you just,
no doubt.
ooh, so
Yeah.
good.
Well,
Yeah.
I really appreciate this, Julie. So for today, this is Jim Jordan with the Oregon Energy Healing Center, having a nice chat with Julie Chertow, my friend and a member of our center. And we will get this out to everybody so they have a chance to hear Julie, her testimony.
Awesome. I'm happy to help.
Okay,
Definitely.
I'll see you tonight, Julie.
Okay. Bye.